You are live now, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Yeah. At my age, it's always reassuring.
I was going to say, that's encouraging to hear.
Ah,
It's empty over there.
yeah.
It feels empty. There's a long space.
There you go.
You could scoot this way and Kimberly gets on the corner if you want.
Kimberly, you wanna get on camera?
It only be your sugar's room, otherwise I'm fine where I'm at.
I got a whole minute.
There's plenty of
Oh,
room.
and
John did sit over here.
Where are you racing around at,
That much space.
Oh, there's no lack of distractions. Yeah.
no rest for the wicked?
I guess something
I'm
like
still
that.
hugging my corner over here like he's still here.
somebody will fill it, right?
Any surprises or not? Okay.
I think so.
That sounds good. All right. Well, are we otherwise ready to go?
I believe so. Lindsay was just going to grab a recording device for the, record the closed portion.
Yeah.
So our attorney doesn't get
Wait
mad at
for
us.
her for a second.
Here comes the librarian.
Now I catch my breath.
Take a deep breath.
Good writing.
We have time. All right, assuming that we're recording well and the administration's all set to go, it's 5 o'clock and it's December 2nd, 2025. We're in the council chambers for our regular agenda setting meeting at 5 o'clock, and I'll call that meeting to order. And with that, let's see, we could, in courtesy, are you recovered?
I'm recovered, yeah.
All
I'm
right,
good.
maybe we'll start with the librarian's report.
All right. So yeah, shockingly, December is here. None of us can figure out how it happened so fast this year, but we're here. This Saturday the 6th, the Friends of the Library will be having a meeting, social hour, and will be decorating the library for the holidays. They plan to meet at 10:30 and will be providing treats. Anyone who is interested in joining the Friends are welcome to join them on Saturday and learn more about the group. Saturday the 13th, we will be hosting our 2nd annual Jingle and Mingle at the library. This is a day of movies, treats, and activities to help bring some holiday spirit to the community. This is a free activity and all are welcome, and this is funded by the Friends of the Library. Our new library clerk, Michelle, started on November 10th. She's been doing really great with learning all aspects of the job. She's great with patrons and eager to learn, and a very welcome addition to our library. So if you haven't met her, please come down. She's wonderful. Arrowhead Library System will be providing a bracelet making take and make project that will be available in January, and more details will be posted soon for that. Our winter reading program for adults will start January 5th and go through February 14th. The theme this year is Track Down a Book. You can sign up at the library starting in January and earn a chance to win some prizes. Also coming in January, we'll be doing some new and exciting updates to the library. We'll have a new newsletter, a different layout for our books, and new activities and events that we plan on hosting. The schedule will be posted on the library website and Facebook pages. And then, of course, we're closed on the 24th, 25th, and the 1st for the holiday season. And we hope everybody has a happy and safe holidays.
Busy schedule as always.
Yes.
Yep. Appreciate that. Any questions of Jen or not? No. All right, let's see. I suppose we could have an attorney's report. Do you have anything to add to our discussions? Or?
No, Mayor, nothing, just what's on the agenda this evening.
All right, very good. Let's see, turn it over to the city administrator. What else should we be addressing?
So I'll run through the agenda items real quick. That order on South 6th Street East, we do have a CDBG grant request in that went in yesterday for $40,000, looking for about half of that that project. Next step in that, CDBG will have the actual little interview portion where you go and you give your presentation, usually over at the Mountain Iron Community Center. So that'll be the next step in that for the CDBG side. In addition, I think that there's some opportunity to, because of the housing implications of that, to potentially go after housing grant through IRRR as a match on that, to try to cut our costs a little bit more. But right now, the proposed fix to that is that low pressure sewer line with a grinder pump. Basically reduce, if not outright eliminate, the amount of the waste that's held in that system that causes those odor issues in that neighborhood, and just keep everything moving.
So if we're looking for 50% from CDBG, remind me what was the estimated kind of cost, or what?
The estimated cost is 75, so we were kind of up at 80, but 75 to 80,000. It's a fairly small project, just the installation of that smaller low pressure line, and then just that grinder pump that goes in on the homeowner's property where it gets installed. It's kind of to be determined yet, but kind of becomes theirs to deal with. Assigning the city councilor, you do have three people that have applied for the council. You've got their application materials in your packet, and then just a statutory reminder of how the process works. That's printed out in front of you for the meeting. The renewal of the East Mesabi sanitation contract. See, there's a multi-year contract proposed with a slight decrease in the first year, so a little bit of savings there. I've worked with this company through both owners for several years, and they've always been responsive, giving good service, cost is pretty good. So I've always been happy with them, so I'd recommend continuing along with East Mesabi Sanitation. The employment contracts, the negotiations committee met for the last time yesterday to kind of review those, make sure everything's in order. They're recommending those. There's the 3 office staff, and then the library agreement was approved by the library board and sent over. So just a quick recap of that with the negotiations committee. I don't think there's any issues there. The other projects, the spec building is at the substantial completion point. So the engineer has signed off that it's substantially complete. There is a punch list that goes along with that, but there are springtime items, things like getting the grass to grow and doing some final fixing that will be held over until next spring. So we did an extension on the grant from IRRR for that was put in today. So we'll extend that probably 6 months or a year just to be safe. As well as the warming shack. The warming shack is well on its way to being completed, but it's not quite done, so they're still working on that, and we put in a grant request, a grant extension request through IRRR today, which shouldn't be a problem to get.
So we've got the full funding on that, though? The warming shack?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And I thought we did, but just double check, but.
Lengthy, we got the grant funding from IRRR and some of the other organizations, and then a lengthy list of local donors that pushed in on that, so it's been a good project.
It's gonna be an impressive ribbon cutting on that one with all the various funding sources that have been cobbled together for that, so it's through the generosity of a lot of individuals and organizations, so.
And was there a date at all that they were going to start flooding on that Scott was going to start working on putting ice down?
As far as I work, he did,
Okay.
so, yep.
And the ice is underway?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, based on what you're saying on the industrial park and knowing what the water project is, we may have like a giant ribbon cutting with all the dignitaries and things in the spring for both projects, really, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, by the time that gets finalized, and maybe the warming shack too, right? We get to make it a grand tour, yeah. So, that's encouraging to see projects progressing to that level, right? Yeah. A lot of labor goes in and things before then, so. Let's see, I take it Josh is not gonna be online, right?
Correct.
All right. Counselors, other questions, maybe Jeff on some of the projects?
I do have one here. I think it was last week, we got an email from one of the school bus drivers asking about South Main. Apparently they have some pickups south of the tracks, and they've had some issues with cars going faster. They're not realizing that there are school bus stops, and I think the email requested, like, school bus stop ahead signs. I'm just wondering if, I'm assuming it's a county road, so that would be the county that would put
It's
them
a
up.
county road and the county answered her email.
Oh, they
Yeah.
did?
Yeah,
Okay.
they can't put signage there,
They can't,
no,
No, it's an enforcement issue according
Okay,
to.
because it's not a blind intersection.
right, okay,
But the county did answer, but she showed it to me, the answers.
okay. I just wondered if
Because
anything.
I contacted her and told her that I'd get a hold of Vic Lund from the county and his office already answered it, so.
No, that's good.
Yeah, well, good. Yeah, good work to respond to a legitimate citizen complaint and
Just
their
have to
But-
Be aware.
concern. Yeah.
So maybe a reminder to people that when the school bus has its arms out, both directions of traffic need to stop and wait for the school bus's arms to be put back
Yep.
before you can traverse the road.
In fact, it's darker out earlier and later
Yeah.
now, the lights will
watch for the
show up a
kids.
lot better.
One would think that was instinctual with the driver's license, but not always, right? Yeah.
Well, also the bus driver should probably put their lights on a little sooner
The
than they
yellows,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just before you stop, you know, it's probably a little precaution there too.
Yeah.
And I told her that because she drives that bus.
Well, go to the source. That's good.
I'm glad her-
Huh?
I'm glad her concern got answered, that's good.
Well, let's see, so other questions on projects or anything that we would ask Josh about, or, based on some discussion since the last meeting, I hope we can clarify, and I talked to Jeff about it, the status of the county funding for the full project. You know, realizing that the bridge component's an indeterminate factor at the moment, but very concerned about South Main.
Mhm.
Yeah, making sure we get on top of that. And we have not heard back from Minnesota Power about burying their lines. I don't think it'd be probably too soon to renew our request. I think it got put into a large inbox.
You mean on South Main?
Yeah, yeah, it just.
So I got some others that got a bury too, they know that, so.
Yeah, yeah, but the South Main in particular, the suggestion was from Josh and otherwise to go directly to Minnesota Power and ask them about it, so. Something there.
Is that then a city request, or is that something that we need to relate to the county to make the request on Minnesota Power burying their lines?
Well,
Well-
I think it's a joint request that we should make with the county. I think our engineers should make it with the county.
Yeah, the county seemed to be deferring to us, but I agree, I think it needs to.
I think you have more power if you do both of you.
Yeah, and it emphasizes that it's actually a traffic concern too, not just a aesthetic or something of that nature, so.
That is a county project, isn't it?
Yes,
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah.
so I mean, you want them to be the lead on that.
Well, ideally, yes.
Yeah.
Mainly, we want to get the issue in front of the right people at Minnesota
Right,
Power. Yeah.
With a joint front.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, so hopefully that'll take place.
How's the water project coming?
Well, the water project is proceeding as best it can. The burning issue at the moment is still trying to formulate the plan by which to go back to the WIF program administrators. Jeff, you talked with our lobbyist, Jeff.
Yeah, I spoke with Jeff Anderson,
Yeah.
today, and he is going to work on setting up a meeting with the four legislators that represent the players, because we're on that line where we have Warwick and Farnsworth on this side, and then the White Lake side is represented by
Scraba,
Hochschild and Scraba.
Yeah.
So Jeff Anderson is gonna convene a meeting of everyone to kind of impress upon the legislators where we're at and try to get this taken care of at the staff level, at the bureaucratic level of applying that higher WIP cap to us. And if not, we'll need to have a backup plan of going after further legislation on that.
Yeah. So it's an unfortunate problem to have at that stage of a project, but it's big money for our, service, our customers, as far as rates and Yeah, I was, I don't know if we were mentioning, I think we have to, I hope at the next meeting we revisit the in-place rate schedule for water services that we adopted, what, about a year ago, wasn't it? Or something that decided, anticipating different contingencies at that point in time. Let's see. Well, let's see, you have this memo in about the vacancy filling and so on. We have 3 candidates. And I think when we get to that point of the agenda, we're gonna, I'd like, kind of what the council's feeling are of how to proceed. In other words, we have, I think, one individual is very known, one individual pretty well known, and another one that at least some of us are unfamiliar with. And I think our options, just to consider them, one would be to, take a vote of the council, either a straw vote or an actual vote. We could schedule some interviews like we did with Ashley's position, and I guess we have some options, but fortunately we don't have to be desperate and go out of the parking lot and grab somebody to appoint to the council. I think it's encouraging that we got the 3 applications. But any pre-event sort of thoughts of how best to handle it? What this tells me is if we get into a tie with a 4-person council, I could break that tie by casting the deciding vote, but I'd like us hopefully to reach some kind of majority view on one or another of the candidates. You've been through this a few times, Richard. Any suggestions of how to orchestrate the review process, or?
I don't know, can you either make a decision here tonight or do interviews, one or the other. We're gonna do interviews a little different if we do interviews than we did last time.
Yeah, we probably, based on what I'm foreseeing, is we're gonna have to have some kind of a special meeting between now and the next meeting, but I don't know that for sure. Any forecasts from the administrator?
Well, I think it's just up to the council's preference on how you want to do that.
Yeah. So we obviously have the second meeting of the month where some business can get transacted. You're our most recent member, Councilor Berquist. Any lessons gleaned from how we did it the last time?
Well, I just think, consistency-wise, I think the last 2 times you've had a vacancy on the council, you've taken it to interviews. And considering that there's 3 candidates, it just seems like consistency would be appropriate.
Well, fresh impressions for that new one. So, yeah, that may be the way to approach it. But bottom line, it's great we got 3 applicants for the position. So, what else is on the agenda? Anything else that? Sanitation contract, employment contracts. No, we could adjourn our agenda setting meeting early. Are there other matters that anybody wants to bring up? No? No. Well, it's 5:17, and if we don't have any other business, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting, and then anticipating we're going to reconvene in about 12 minutes. So,
I'll make a motion.
moved by Councilor Hess to adjourn, supported by Councilor Hanson. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.